This is the Dudebros podcast. This is the Dudebros podcast. Dudebros podcast. Enjoy the day on speak now.
Girl, I love pretty girls. Tell me, I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will.
Yeah, I hope my mama believes me.
A woman.
Mama, see, I am a gay woman. Gay. Yeah, mama.
He's filled with the Holy Spirit.
You ever rack him, Willie? The Holy Spirit automatically, systematically, just in the slow motion 2009 YouTube graphics.
Oh, the good old days.
Was this another college bro?
Rack ball.
We'll just put a quick little image, at least, right when you said the college, bro.
We actually did have a real life version of this character at school. If you remember, it was the 75-cent guy. Do you remember the 75-cent guy?
Hey, big guy, get 75 cents.
No.
One of our fraternity brothers would always be like,
Bitch beer.
Dude,
Bitch beer.
quit. Stop. Absolutely did not want to give him the 75 cents for any reason.
Yikes.
The first time I met this guy, it was a rush party for a fraternity in the summer. You know, they get all the potential college dudes there, pump them up with fun times, we'll say, and all that, get them excited about the collegiate atmosphere, so they want to join a fraternity and learn good time management skills and business skills and all of that, right? So I'm at one of these events. It's later in the evening, about prime time for the party. You know, there's a band playing in there, and they occasionally go to a DJ while they're taking their breaks and all that, and everybody's having fun mingling. We're out there. I'm hanging out with some of the older dudes that I know. And then this guy shows up, and he's got a 6-pack in each hand, Smirnoff Ice. He's got a backwards, upside-down visor with a black and mild stuck right here
Man.
on either side. Yeah,
He wasn't Kyle.
No, he raised it up. I mean, it was like a commercial. You know, he
Proud of those stickers.
yeah, and then boy next to me, he's a biker type, we'll say. He just goes, "What's up, bitch beer?" So that was his nickname, you know, from right then.
Stamped.
It was great.
Hey, what flavor you got? Strawberry.
Boy, that was a nail in the coffin, wasn't it?
Side story, that guy eventually gets lymphatic cancer, and we go visit him at the hospital, eventually spend some time at his house. I'll say house, their estate.
Yeah, these are not low-income whites.
No, and so you get a little bit better picture of like, oh, okay, all of him and his buddies, and when they were,
that was probably the normal.
yeah, they were
Nobody's gonna really
dipping into their Smirnoffs all the time.
I just lived a different life than that guy did.
But that's what's good about college, and I think especially for the college that we went to, I definitely got exposed to many different walks of life that I definitely needed to experience, had some jobs that I needed to experience to understand, like, okay, especially I think everybody needs to have a service industry job at some point in their life so that they can kind of see the people. Obviously have respect for the people that serve your food, but also understand their mentality and what's getting them through the day so that you can have better interactions, better time, instead of just treating them as somebody that, hey, bring me my drink, refill my stuff, yada, yada, yada. But actually get to live life with them. And you think, okay, they work so hard for these little blocks of time, and then they just turn it around and just party as hard as they can, and so that they can sleep for a couple hours and then do it all over again.
Yeah, the movie Waiting is
Oh,
very
pretty-
good.
it's pretty active.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I worked in the restaurants. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Very, very. That was like watching a former version of myself at some point. That was weird.
There's
People
the-
don't realize how, like, if there's a lot of people that have worked in the same restaurant for a long time, it's a high likelihood that they've all had sex with each other at one point or another. It's just part of the deal. That proximity, you know.
Become a family, you know? And that's what
Yeah,
families do.
yeah.
Gosh.
That is
What
not
are
the
they,
channel I
Einsteins?
watched. Jeez. What we were just talking about.
Yeah.
The old cousin fucker.
Yeah. In the last episode, it's hearing as we're recording this, we go into a lot of, we'll say, prominent scientific figures throughout modern history, and then the fact that at the end of the day, there's, we'll say, gross sexual perversions with all of them across the board.
Mm.
I mean,
And how?
yeah, but one of them was Einstein, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so we pulled up. I was
First
like,
thing he
"Einstein
pulled up,
cousin."
yeah.
First thing was some like blog article, "The cousin fucker comes to America"
Yeah.
or something like that. I was like,
Historical
"Jeez."
cousin fuckers. Yeah, that was something.
I feel like Einstein missed the cutoff where that was socially acceptable. You know what I mean? Maybe 100 years earlier.
Well, I mean, that's arguable. It's still going on to
Yeah,
this
there's-
day, and
Royal families and
well,
such.
that was
Well, there's
Bloodlines
genetic
are
reasons for
important.
that. Yeah.
They certainly seem to think so.
we've all seen Doom, so
Ooh,
I know.
Yeah.
That's very nail on the head.
Yeah, boy.
It's all that
man.
cray cray.
Well,
But we started off with the video, and we went on some member-berry tangents or whatever. That was hilarious to me. The first time I watched that, I rewatched that like two more times in a row. The original time that he goes out and debuts his new song, you know, crowd all around him, and he's
hyping it up.
yeah, doing the big
Oh,
Willie
yeah.
cheese and all that. And I mean, you got people.
Was he
just,
feeding him the mic?
People are just like standing there. Then you see like body postures, kind of. And then, you know, some people right here, and you know, of course, many phones up, people recording it and all that. And then there's some minor celebrity that was also there to promote it. I was unaware, but of course, the song's about the pretty girls or whatnot.
Ah.
She's a pretty girl, and so she comes out. He's like, "You see, I just played the song, and the pretty girls come out."
Oh, man.
And then he's got his hype man there, and so he goes to his hype man. Every time the camera goes over there, you see the hype man going from zero energy to realizing it's on him to being like,
Yeah,
it's
that's hard to watch when you're seeing the widescreen shot of it. You know?
it very much is cringe.
About to do some investing. Spend it on you and your bestie. You and your twin on your jet ski. I'll change your life if you let me. Girls. Yeah. I like pretty girl. Yeah.
So much so that I think we'll dive into this now, but there's a lot of different angles. But for one, let's take the most base, no deep conspiracy stuff with it or whatever. He's
Trying to get his groove back.
yeah, we'll say the equivalent of a midlife crisis.
I'ma go to heaven even though I'm a hellraiser. I am the illest. Yes, sir! I am the illest.
For that level celebrity, he's trying to come back there, and I think at this point the best PR move would be to be like, I'm doing comedy now. That was funny, right? Because it is hilarious. And I mean, we watched there's numerous others. I saw probably a dozen or so. Ones that all individually made me laugh after seeing other ones. So it was stale comedy, and it was still funny because it's such low-hanging fruit that
It's almost got an MC Hammer vibe to it.
Girl. I love pretty girls.
But at least MC was like,
well, it's ripping off that one song. I'm blanking on the name again. Thick or whatever.
Good girl.
yeah.
I didn't even know Will Smith was doing stuff. I guess he's been
Yeah, the last time I heard of him,
since he slapped Chris Rock.
yeah, big slap. Last time I heard of the wheels.
So I mean, that's where we can go into, you know, speculation type things.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. We had the big slap, and then we had him sitting with her and her talking about all the time she's cheated on him.
I think that happened first, right?
Was it first? I thought it was
Or
after.
second?
I thought it was like after he like defended her, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way," and then they had the whole. It was like a Netflix special, right?
It was something for her little like podcast or whatever it is. I mean, I'm sure it's done fine.
We're gonna have to figure out if it was before or after.
But-
Because one is worse than the other.
But either way, I mean, she basically to his face was like, "Yeah, I've been
While they're recording, and he's
sleeping around
crying.
and he's crying."
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see it playing either way. I could see where that happened and they're trying to be together out on stage and trying to make it believable.
Yeah.
Or I could see it like they finally be like, "Hey, Will, you pushed it too far. We're finally putting the clamps down on you." You know, that famous Denzel quote when he was there, he'd be like, "Hey, when you rise to the top, you better watch out because that's when they're going to try and come get you."
Yeah.
And sure
Well,
enough.
also, there's an exact mirror clip of it was probably from the late '80s or something, where the comics, it's a black comic and then a black comic club, and the one guy's making fun of the rich dude's wife, and he walks up on stage and slaps the shit out of him. He's like, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth," and he walks back to his chair and tightens up. He's like, "Good, there's your show."
I've seen several videos where they splice that into other things.
Same
So they're
thing.
so funny.
Right. So for me, that was definitely a PR thing, because then they even broke down like, was Chris Rock wearing a prosthetic? His cheek looks bigger than it usually does. Like,
I don't know. I would think that if that is all staged, Chris Rock is at least going to be man enough to take a fucking slap. Like if you're putting, if you're putting cheek padding on there, that like what in the
I agree.
hell?
I mean, if you're one of those live action players, you gotta get the real stuff in.
So I watched it live when it happened. And so to me, it seems like there's too much realism about it. The way that Will Smith hits him too is so unnatural. Even his finish, I feel like if he knew he was going to go up and slap Chris Rock's face, I mean, there was going to be like John Wick level coordination of trying to make that look as awesome as humanly possible.
So you're saying you're more inclined
I'm more inclined to think it was not staged.
because of how terrible he was at striking another
Yes.
man because he's a homosexual?
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more.
All right,
Since
so
there's allegations or
I feel
whatever
like
the
in
PR
Hollywood,
way
I mean, is that not typical though? I mean, it seems like in order to get your position, you have to have some kind of a background and some kind of artistic homosexual production, maybe a theater program. Like Keanu Reeves, I remember listening to him recently, and he's talking about a production he did with like his buddy in high school or college, probably college. He's like, it was really tasteful, I guess them too.
That was a good Keanu.
Right, thanks. And I know that there's a certain level of acceptability on that side, and I know you're pushing more on the like, no, it's heavily rampant, heavily abusive, especially to the younger stars, which we've seen more and more of the past 10 years.
I think that more and more stuff is getting disclosed, and it's intentional. There's so much coming out here; it's hard to keep track, and that's so we'll talk about Will Smith instead of whatever. Like my personal opinion is he's putting his name out there to pull back more coverage on his son because of all the homosexual stuff that's come out with him and Bieber, and then the rape allegations and the molestation from Will Smith with these others, and a whole different thing there.
They had a video of his birthday party that one time. That's running around now.
That's the thing. There's the receipts for it. None of this stuff is just people, spreading rumors and stuff. It's all video. But now we're just now, as I've already said, releasing the infancy AI capabilities. So it's going to discredit everything
It's all
shortly.
fake, bro.
Right. So we're in this thin little window where people can get information before it's going to be basically gate kept. But people are so caught up in all of the constant, we'll say, terror that's put into them, and then all the constant, candies, distractions, sweet little nom-noms.
Making fun of me. I don't know what his deal was. He called Bulbasaur.
That's Onion Turtle.
Geodude.
Punchy Rock.
Meowth.
That cat with them long ass arms.
Ekans.
Purple shit.
He called Diglett.
That's floor shit right there.
And Doug Trio.
That's 3 floor shits.
He knew Pikachu, but...
Fun little clips. 15 seconds of this, 15 seconds of this.
Dopamine.
Right.
Dopamine. Yeah.
that you don't see what's going on there. For instance, the thing that they quiet released on Sunday night about the Epstein files and all that. Oh yeah, there's now officially FBI policy. There's no client list. Here's a video that just shows nobody going into the cell. So he hung himself, which of course begs the question then, if there's no client list, if there's nobody that they're worried about him leaking any information about, what does he possibly, I mean,
didn't Pam Bondi just say she had the client list and it was about to come out? It's not sitting on her desk. They've got the names highlighted.
They flip-flopped so many things, and Kash Patel got on Rogan and he was talking about all that, and he's seen it on Rogan. They say,
oh yeah, I bet he was hyped up too with his little cheeks glowing.
He's another one. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to say homosexual. Eventually comes out. He does not want his mother to know. His mother's very traditional. That's my whole thing there. I think that's for sure. I think that's part of what they got on him. But mark this right here. Save this. When that comes out later,
you heard it here first, folks.
I feel like you unpacked a lot of things there. I mean, do you want to get more in depth on any of those topics, or is it typical to just kind of gloss over a few different things, put in a little bit of tidbits here, maybe show a clip, and then that's all you want?
We have a very loose format here. We're not trying to push any agendas. We're not trying to fit into any mold to capture whatever. We're just whatever you want to do. If you want to spend an hour talking about paleontology, let's do it, man. You know? I've gotten very granular on a great many things, and I genuinely get all geeky and a little nerd boner whenever I can truly get into stuff and talk about things.
Well, let's talk about going back to your beginning part of your statement, which was Will Smith possibly laying out a distraction for Jaden. Right? Okay. So talk to me about what's come out from Jaden that he's deflecting from.
Such a long time has passed that they actually have to disassemble the bed, and then they disassemble the bed and they find like this note in it, and it's like from me. Like, I'm a carpenter. Like, I build shit with my hands when I'm bored.
I mean, you said homosexual allegations with Justin Bieber. Did I hear you say that?
Yeah, so in the podcast that's literally dropping as we're recording right now, I have several images from a video that came out, and it's Bieber's there talking to some friends, acquaintances, whatever you want to say there, and Jaden comes up and in a dominant way grabs him and starts humping him from behind, and then makes him kiss him on the cheek, and then makes him kiss him on the mouth, and then kind of like...
This is what Daddy does, right?
Yeah, I mean...
What are you teaching your kids?
We're talking about the Bidens now, or... Pick a family? Pick a royal family?
I believe the world is mostly good.
I think there's a way for the world to be mostly good. I just think that the bad gets more clicks.
Are you familiar with the Universe 25 experiment?
No. I'm familiar with this fly that's going to get it before this is over. Do you have friends with the flies in here? Should I be worried that I'm going to disturb a relationship with flies in here?
So he's making a dig at me because...
Second cousin twice removed.
Little known fact, I am in Kindu. I have a great connection with nature and all of the animals, and I have a deep understanding and respect for one another. A certain individual may have assaulted one of my wasp friends, and when I exited this facility, they literally were in a perfect vertical line, all with their wings outstretched, buzzing, all eyes on me, and I had to plead with them and explain I had nothing to do with it.
That's all a terrible misunderstanding.
So let's get from my perspective now. So I know this guy for a very long period of time, and we lived together, and I knew your reaction that would happen if you did get stung. And here I am coming into your place, and you go, you let this wasp in here, and my immediate thought is, I have to save your life. So
he's trying to...
Who's being the dick now, okay?
Look, he's trying to pay back a life debt he owes me. When I saved his life in college, he had his throat closing up and he could not breathe. And I walked into that situation and I immediately put him in my vehicle, put the caution lights on, and I drove a 97 Blazer on one wheel for several miles through red lights. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Like, it literally came up on one wheel.
Mm-hmm. We got places to be.
And I got him there, and then nobody was in any concern whatsoever.
Nope.
like I literally looked like a crazy person escaped from a mental asylum, you know.
So my throat has gotten, my lymph nodes had swollen so much that they literally were completely cutting off my
Right.
airways. And I came out, I was like, I need to go to the hospital. Because this is a situation. Anyways, what's funny about that story too is at that little piece of crap hospital that we went to in the school that we went, they made me put a mask on because they were worried whatever I had was contagious, which, you know, funny with masks now. But because of that, and because I literally could not talk, I was having to give them all my information so that they can enter in the computer. They entered my last name incorrectly. So for years, that bill went around the country until it finally found me 10 years later, and it accrued like up to $1,000 or something.
It was $25 copay.
Yeah.
It is now $1,200.
Right.
Yeah.
And getting rid of that and wiped off was quite the task.
Got to call them collection people.
So
Further on that last part, I'll just say is that when they finally did go to relieve the tension in my throat, they apparently had never run into this circumstance before in this little town that we were in. So the doctor brought in like multiple students in there with me so that they could use me as pretty much a science experiment to show how they were going to try and figure out a way to best solve this problem. And so what they did is they took this gigantic syringe with a needle that was about this big and stuck that in my throat and pulled out all that pus and all that stuff that had built in there and filled that entire tube up. And then they brought it out and were like showing it to the students, like, you see here. Then I went home and those popped, and then I vomited all that back out. It was disgusting. But thank you for saving my life. I feel like I repaid the debt today. You're welcome.
I actually got the wasp. So
It's true.
not all heroes wear capes.
That's right.
I wanted to just circle back, add one more thing to give you an accurate portrayal of the hospital. So up to this point in my life, I had never broken a bone. And keep in mind, I played all the sports, you know, from cross country track to soccer, football to rugby.
you think all that for later.
Full contact, right? Never any bones. Broke my bone playing flag football, running full speed, and I ran into a big boy. But I played the entire rest of the game with my arm at a 45-degree angle. Like, I mean, it was folded back, all that. And I scored, I think, 3 touchdowns after that. So I was catching one hand, just still playing with this, right? And I'm like, I need a ride to the hospital, you know,
Like now.
right. He's like, they already knew, right? But we go there, sit there for 3 hours. There is a child there who had been playing with themselves, I think like 7, 8 years old, experimenting or something, and they managed to shove their testicles back into their body cavity.
Oh, God.
So they spent 3 hours trying to force them out of there. And the noises that came out of there were some of the most horrific noises I had heard up until that point.
Jeez.
It was traumatizing. So the whole time I was sitting there, then they come in, and then they say they have nobody there who knows how to set a bone, and that they can't do it. This is a hospital with an emergency room.
These people are getting paid to be there.
Nobody there can set a bone. You can come back. Well, I think Monday we're gonna have.
Not even on call.
Yeah, this is a Friday.
So it'll be healed by then. They'll have to re-break it and reset it. Okay.
Yeah. So
Where was the next hospital?
Well, I actually just said screw it, and I actually went all the way home. So I drove like 3.5 hours and went to a facility that had doctors in it.
Oh, they got you in pretty quick.
They were, and it was more painful, you know, because healing starts immediately. Right?
Yeah, I feel like you could argue now that the problems of that hospital and that school and that area has become a nationwide epidemic. Maybe not necessarily specifically for inability to set a bone, but a severe lack of employees and capable employees.
Yeah, an extreme lack of qualified candidates, and even people that have the credentials are not qualified, frankly.
Right.
You see the grade on a curve now in medical school.
I mean, to go on a tirade that shouldn't probably be inserted here, I almost think that not everyone should be allowed to vote. I think that there should be certain levels, you have to have certain civic awareness, certain cognizance of what it actually means that you're doing, and not just, I saw this guy, he has a good haircut, I like. Or no, that man bad. Commercial tell me he's the devil. Or this one issue, I don't like what I have no idea what they think about anything else, but this one issue, the lookity box told me they're the bad man. And
They're
that's
probably baby killers. Yeah.
that's both sides. So we'll see what happens. There we go. What do you think's going to happen with Elon Musk's new party? That happened while you're on vacation.
I think his market price dropped about 10% today.
Well, right.
I'm not familiar. What's happening?
Elon started the America Party to be a viable third party that I'm sure would like to allow foreign nationals to become president, if I had to guess.
Oh,
At the end of the day, that might be the ambitions there.
man. I feel like maybe he's trying to push up and he might get his pee-pee slapped soon.
But I do have video of White House, of Trump talking, Elon coming in there, bringing his little X1A LNOP
The little boy?
QRST, yeah, there, who goes to Trump and he says,
Prices from one year to the next are the same, and they're
This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
is to restore democracy. Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, okay, X, you would have to if you sorry. From one year to the next are the same.
Wow.
all recorded, and
Wow.
Trump visibly like uncomfortable, but no chide. Elon just,
Partnership with the agency heads, and I checked previously with the president to make sure.
Dudebros podcast.
Who the fuck Will Smith think he is? And that boy damn crazy how he raising them kids.
No, he is.
Yes, he is.
No, he is.
Yes, he is. And I ain't never gonna forgive him for that shit he did. He gonna drop a new record like we all gonna forget. He need to take another year and untangle some shit.
Oh my.
Who the fuck Will think he is? He only still relevant because of his kids.
No, he is.
Yes, he is.
No, he
yes,
is.
he is. And I ain't never gonna forgive him for that shit he did.